Hey guys, welcome back to the Dr. Anime here. We're here to discuss the God of High School, episode 9. So, in this episode, it begins right after the ending of the last one, where Mori Jin gets a picture of his grandpa hurt. So he leaves, and the next match is about to begin. I think like maybe I know they have 5 minutes before it starts when, because they couldn't find him at the actual stadium. So Mira and Han were talking about where he is, and Commissioner P comes in and tells them, "Oh, the fight starts in 5 minutes. If you don't have him, then the only way you guys could win would be winning both matches." But Han is suspended because he interfered in the match last episode of someone else's match. So pretty much Mira would have to extend the fight as long as she can. While Han says he's gonna go look for Mori, but he's only looking like within the stadium itself because they assume that he's there. They don't know what's happening. So Mori's riding his bike on his way to go look for his grandpa, and he arrives at a warehouse, and he sees his grandpa hurt, injured, and unconscious. So when he goes there, gets close to his grandpa's body, his he starts to hear like laugh, and the head twists all the way around to look at him, and it blows up, and you see a huge explosion that fills the whole warehouse. Like go off, and a mysterious guy walks up and pretty much calls Mori a weakling, saying, "Oh, we got the weakling now." And Mori stands up behind him because he turns his back, and Mori like stands up behind him, and them two begin to fight. And this guy name is, we don't find out his name until like a bit later on, but I wrote it down. His name is, right on this page, Pei Long. Yeah, like Pei and then Long, Pei Long. So he makes doppelgangers, aka clones of himself, that are pretty much shadow clones from Naruto, or clones from Dragon Ball. Tien made clones that were solid. They pretty much works the same, but he made like a huge amount, so they're closer to Naruto. So they're all fighting against Mori, who's just taking them all on, and they all pile on top of him, and he gets pissed off at one point to where he just blasts them all off him, and it switches between that fight and Mara's fight, and Mara's fighting the Jeju team, which her first match is against Lee Marin. Yeah, Lee Marin. All right, so she of course using a temporary wooden sword, and this, I'm just gonna say Lee. This Lee guy is pretty much no clothes on except like a speedo, pretty much, and he's muscular, and he has like a cone head kind of thing. So them two are fighting, and Mira's over here attacking, and she seems to be the more aggressive one in that fight, to where she's attacking with her sword and everything. And like he eventually like grabs her, and like she uses her sword and hits him in the stomach because he was like open. He was gonna like suplex her, it looks like, but she like attacks him, breaks out, and he eventually gets thrown a wooden sword from one of his teammates, and it's Mira's original wooden sword that was stolen from that guy that she was gonna marry, the executive guy. So right away, that tells us that this group, these three people from Team Juji, or I said Juji, wow, J Jeju, wow, that's Jeju, is with Nox, or with Nox, the cult. So they begin fighting with their wooden swords and everything. And eventually the guy transforms her wooden sword into an actual metal sword, and explains that it's a national treasure, which means that it has the power of God. I don't know if it's the God or just a power of a God. I think it's of a God because there seems to be like multiple gods in this world, which you'll find out later on. And he cuts her with a sword, of course. So she's over here fighting barehanded, pretty much her. Unarmed, swordsman style. Han was looking for Mori and finds the guy that he fought last episode, 2 episodes ago. So episode 7. There we go. Jin Pum Quang. There you go, Quang. And Quang is hurt in the room. So as Han went over there to help him, a mysterious girl dressed in the same jumpsuit that Bruce Lee wears, and I wrote it down too, so I could remember the movie. I didn't watch this movie. I saw clips of it, but I never fully on watched it. Um, it's the suit he wore in Game of Death. It's a yellow suit with black stripes going down on both sides. So she comes in and she starts fighting with Han, and eventually, like she's fighting pretty well. Eventually, he kicks her in the calf, which drops her. Like she lost like the strength in her legs, and she fell. And then like he just like ignores her after that point and goes to like pick up Quang, and about to walk out, and then she just like goes in front of Han, kisses him, and it looked like she was about to like finish them, like for real, like finish them. And that's when her teammate Jagal comes in with the other teammate, and he stops her. And at this moment, he just says something snide to Han and then leaves. And then Han goes, "If I would have moved even an inch, I would be dead." So he's probably insinuating like the guy probably had like the spikes around him. He just couldn't see it. And so if he was to move anywhere, the spikes would probably attack him. Or he probably just uses spikes automatically and try to kill Han. So we see that there's still that gap of power between Han and Jagal, which means that Mori's probably going to be the one to fight him. It could still be Han. It could be, because they could easily change things up. Um, let's see. Mira. She is taunted by Lee about Mori not being able to make it, which makes her think, okay, you guys obviously did something to him. But then she was like, he would not be taken out by people like you guys. But he's still, taunting her to the point where she is, she also is getting beaten at this point. Like she really already got impaled in the side, and then she's getting beaten down. And like the audience and other teams that like Park's team, like Lippo Park, his team are like in all like shocked of like the damage that she's getting. And when the Lee like actually like do like a final kind of blow to her, she is like unconscious on the floor, and in her unconsciousness, she is talking to a mysterious voice, and this voice asks her, "What is it? What does she want?" She wants to help her friends, and she wants to grow stronger. She wants to surpass both of them. First, she wanted to catch up, and then she wants to just surpass them. So Han and Mori. So this power like takes a shape of like a clone of her, and it comes down like because she's like in underwater. It looks like, and it was just like a shining like it's like the sun like above the water like when you look up and you're underwater. It's like that, and it's like another like version of her, and like it looks like they're like turn into particles, and as they come closer, and it goes back outside like towards the ring, and a red like energy engulfs her body, and she comes out using the borrowed power, her new borrowed power, which is called um, the Great Hero Lu Bu Feng Jing. And her sword, her original sword, teleports from Lee to her, because the sword itself, as a national treasure, it teleports to the true owner. Because she originally like got it back from him, but it teleported back to Lee because it didn't see her as its owner anymore. But at this point, like it went straight to her, and she uses, um, well, he uses his bar. Lee uses his borrow power, which is Kraken. So she just uses a sword and her bar power to slice through all the tentacles, and then she goes in for the final attack, which is called Fang Tian Hu Ji. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that too much. But she uses that and she ends the match, and she's feeling one, she's injured because she's been impaled and beaten, and two, it seemed like she's really exhausted. It was a long match, and for all we know, like that's her first time using that borrowed power, so it could have drained a lot of her stamina. She's falling, and Mori just appears and catches her right before she hits the ground. And at that moment, Han runs back into the ring, like not into the ring, but like the stadium, and he sees that. So Han takes Mira to the medical area so the nurse could heal her. And as Mori is getting ready to fight, they're talking about like how they never seen him this angry. So he's over here with a serious face, and the guy that he's about to fight name is Seong. Han Seong. Na is his last name, so it's like Nah. So as they're about to fight, um, I'm just gonna say Han Seong asks him what happened to Pei Long, and Mori says nothing. He just like his focus is on his eyes, and he just dead on serious. And then when the fight starts, he goes in on him. Mori is beating the crap out of this guy. And what's awesome is that it shows clips of back when Mori was fighting Long, and he mirrors the fight. So what he did to Long, he does to this guy. Exact same thing. And that was crazy. Like it shows like it's like split horizontal, and it shows both of like what he's doing, like fighting both of them. And then at one point, it's like flashing back and forth because he's doing the same thing. So he's fighting against Pei Long, and then it flashes to him hitting Han Song Seong Song. It's hard to say this names. I'm sorry. So he's doing that, and then he uses Blue Dragon Kick, his first original move, to attack to fight off to attack Han Seong, and then he uses his new move, Blue Dragon Kick, which is what ends the match. And at this point, you see the commissioners looking at the fight, and his the old guy who trained him, Na Bong Chim, he mentions like a saying where a tiger raised a tiger. pretty much saying Taejin, who is a beast, raised another beast. So it ends there where Mori wins that fight, but it closes in on like his eye, and that's like the last shot that you really see, and that's setting the tone. Like Mori is coming, and I want to see what else he could do because he he used the thing that boosts up his power when he was fighting Peilong, and it's supposed to last an hour. So like he's gonna feel the after effects probably next episode, where he just like can't fight. But he's supposed to be able to do other things like pressure points on his opponents. That's probably what we're gonna see in the next fight. Yeah, it should be in the next fight where he does that. He'll be able to like limit people movements and stuff because he did that to himself. Like he pressed his own pressure points trying to boost up his power, and he accidentally paralyzed himself. So we were probably gonna see him do that in the next fight, and if not in that fight, then the fight after that. Like he has to show that. He just has to. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode.